Viewer discretion is strongly advised. The following contains graphic courtroom testimony. What you're about to hear is a word-for-word account from inside the federal trial of Sean Diddy Combs, as documented by Inner City Press. Millions know Ashton Kutcher as the lovable prankster, the clean-cut tech mogul, or the sitcom star. But on one humid spring morning in a Manhattan courtroom, none of that mattered. This time, he wasn't there for a red carpet or business pitch. He was there as a witness, one in a trial that's shaking the foundations of the entertainment world. With Sean Diddy Combs facing federal charges that range from sex trafficking to orchestrated abuse, Kutcher, a man once tightly tied to Diddy's notorious Hollywood circle, had no choice but to take the stand. And when he did, the room fell dead silent. Because what Ashton revealed wasn't just an effort to separate himself from Diddy. It was far more than that. It was a confession, a betrayal, and a secret that might unravel everything. This is the day Ashton Kutcher finally broke his silence and exposed a side of Hollywood many suspected, but few had ever seen up close. The courtroom was still waking up when Ashton Kutcher entered, dressed in a navy suit with no tie, his face tight, eyes forward. He didn't look like the carefree guy from that 70s show. He looked like a man carrying years of silence. Federal prosecutors wasted no time. They asked if he knew Sean Combs. Ashton hesitated for a second, then nodded. Yes, we met at several parties, through mutual friends. LA, Miami, Vegas, the usual places. But this wasn't about celebrity hangouts. This was about what went on after the cameras stopped flashing. Kutcher was asked about a specific party in 20, an exclusive Diddy-hosted event at a private Beverly Hills estate. That party, buddy, was different, he said. No phones allowed. They took them at the door. I thought that was just for privacy, but later I understood it was something else entirely. When pressed on what he meant, Kutcher shifted in his seat. People were using, I don't know what, pills, powders, things I hadn't seen before. Girls who looked barely out of high school were being handed drinks. I remember asking someone, is she even 18? And they just laughed. Gasps echoed through the courtroom. The prosecutor leaned in. Did you see Mr. Combs give anyone drugs or alcohol? Ashton paused. I didn't see him hand anything directly, but I saw him watching. He knew what was going on. Then came the moment that made headlines. The prosecution brought up a video, one taken secretly, never released to the public. Ashton turned pale when it was played for him. Yeah, he whispered. That's the party. That's me. In the clip, Ashton is seen dancing. Nearby, two girls appear unconscious. One is being carried away by a man later identified as a known associate of Combs. I didn't see that happen in real time, Kutcher said. If I had, I don't know. I would have done something. I hope I would have. The room stayed silent after Ashton stepped down, but it didn't stay quiet for long. The next name on the list made people shift in their seats. Cuba Gooding Jr. He walked in looking calm. Too calm. Sunglasses on his collar, hands in his pockets like he was walking onto a red carpet, not into a federal case. But once he sat down and the questions began, the swagger faded. The prosecutor asked him straight up, were you ever present at any events hosted by Sean Combs that involved underage individuals or illegal substances? Cuba didn't blink. I was at the parties, yeah, a lot of us were, but I didn't know anyone was underage. You think we were checking IDs? The courtroom stiffened. That line didn't land well. Then came the kicker. The prosecution brought up a specific incident from 2016, an after-party in New York, Diddy's penthouse suite. Allegedly, two girls were taken from the club to the apartment. One of them later filed a sealed report. Gooding Jr. was shown photos from that night. His voice got lower. I remember them. I thought they were with someone else. I didn't talk to them. But prosecutors weren't done. They pulled out text messages, supposedly between Diddy and Cuba, arranging rides for guests who were too lit to go home. The implication was clear. These weren't just parties. They were setups. Cuba shook his head. I don't know what that meant. I didn't arrange anything. I was just there. But being just there might not be enough anymore. Then came the bombshell. An anonymous witness under federal protection claimed they'd seen both Gooding Jr. and Combs in the same room where an unconscious girl was being undressed. The air got thick. Cuba turned red. That's a lie. That never happened. I'm not part of this. Don't lump me in. But no one was breathing easy anymore. Not the judge. not the press, and definitely not the people in the gallery, because next up was a name no one expected to hear: Will Smith. The bailiff called his name, and every camera lens in the overflow room tilted forward. Will Smith. He strode in wearing a charcoal suit, jacket buttoned tight, the same measured half-smile he flashes on late-night talk shows, but his eyes, ringed with worry, told a different story. He took the oath, rested both hands on the rail, and waited. The prosecutor began gently. "Mr. Smith, you've known Sean Combs for over 2 decades. How would you describe that relationship?" Will cleared his throat. "Professional at first, music, film premieres. Over time it got social, parties, charity events. We ran in the same circles." Then the questions sharpened. "On April 12, 2014, were you at a private gathering hosted by Mr. Combs in Los Angeles?" A flicker crossed Will's face. "Yes, I was invited last minute. I brought a security aide and left my phone at check-in, same as everyone." The prosecutor displayed a photograph, a dimly lit lounge, velvet ropes, silhouetted guests. In the foreground, Will Smith laughing beside Diddy. "Do you recall any underage individuals or non-consensual activity that night?" Will inhaled, slow, deliberate. "I remember loud music, a lot of drinking. At one point I noticed 2 girls who looked too young. I asked staff who'd verified IDs, and they said, 'Everything's handled.' I didn't push it further. I should have." A murmur rippled through the gallery. Next came the sealed exhibit, a fragment of security cam video seized from Diddy's estate, never publicly aired. It showed a corridor outside a Victor annex. Will stood at the threshold, talking to Combs. 2 young women were led past them, heads down, escorted by men in black polos. The prosecutor paused the footage. "Mr. Smith, why did you stop outside that door?" Will's jaw clenched. "Because Sean told me, 'Family-friendly folks wait out here,' his exact words. I thought he was joking. Then I heard someone inside crying. I asked, 'What's going on?' He said, 'It's all love, Big Will. Trust me.' I trusted him. I walked away." He exhaled, voice cracking. "I shouldn't have." Silence pressed in. Even Diddy, stone-faced for most of the trial, looked away. The prosecutor moved to documents, non-disclosure agreements, each bearing Smith's signature. One was 24 pages, dated 2015, binding him to strict confidentiality regarding proprietary entertainment experiences. "Why sign something so broad?" Will answered without hesitation. "I'd been told everyone signed. Industry standard. Lawyers skimmed it, said it protected brand collaborations. I never imagined it shielded crimes." Then came the question that pulled every head up. "Mr. Smith, did you ever personally witness Mr. Combs provide drugs or direct sexual activity with unwilling participants?" Smith met the prosecutor's gaze. "I never saw him hand anyone substances. I did see a culture where no wasn't heard, where handlers decided consent." "And you stayed?" "Yes, because I thought I could keep my distance, benefit from the association, and stay clean." I was wrong. A low hum spread through the benches. Smith's confession was less explicit than Kutcher's, but equally damning. A superstar, acknowledging he chose comfort over confrontation. Before stepping down, Will asked to add one statement. The judge allowed it. "To anyone hurt because I didn't speak sooner, I'm sorry. No movie deal or charity gala is worth someone's safety. I see that now." He left the stand, shoulders sagging, head high. The spell broke, but the jury's faces stayed rigid. 2 megastars had now admitted, under oath, that Diddy's parties were more than decadent. They were engineered. Yet the prosecution still wasn't finished, because the next witness would cut even deeper into that machinery of silence. Danny Masterson, once Ashton's brother-in-arms, now a convicted predator, ready to say whether the network that protected him was the same one shielding Sean Combs.